Sometimes we ask ourselves what are the elements that are needed to maintain a relationship for the long haul, for the long term. I'm going to share with you a few points, first 3 points first, and then another three later on, that may help us to consider, to have some kind of an idea in where to focus to keep a relationship for long term, to nurture it and to protect it. And then to see when is sometimes the time that the relationship is not giving to each other what we expected, what we used to, and some decisions may need to be taken. The topic today is not about the decision, what to do when this is not going well. This is for another conversation. But what are the three elements that are essential from this point of view to maintain a relationship? I'm going to use the relationship between a man and a woman, like in a romantic relationship, as a model, as a traditional model. But we can use this in any other relationship for the long term. So let's say that a man meets a woman meets a man, and when they look at each other, there is something there. There is an attraction. It's like an energy. Some people call it chemistry. That I feel that it moves me towards the other person, and I feel that the person moves towards me. This is what sociometry calls tele. It's a tele of attraction. Tele means something that happened at a distance, but I feel it's so close to me. So I feel that this is happening. Sometimes we call this love. We start being in love. And this love is like a bond that starts growing between two people and makes that the two people together, they feel that there are two together are more than the sum of one and two. There is a bigger, it's called synergy. When these two people are together, they are connected by this powerful force that sometimes overshadows everything else. That is the power sometimes of love, of being in love. I think everybody knows what we're talking about. But as my grandfather used to say, love is not enough. There are other elements in a relationship that are fundamental to be able to maintain that relationship. There are many, but I'm going to talk about two. This relationship, to be able to be nurtured, these two people need to have a set of values that they share. These values or the way of living includes culture, includes the way they see life, includes the principles of life, includes how they see the role of the man and the woman and society. We were talking about work. What is the role of a boss and an employee? How is the management of money? What is the way that we see that if we have children, what is the role of the parenting about education of the children? How to relate to in-laws, how to relate with the culture of the other person, how to give the other person the space to come to my space and me to go to the other people's space. I call that values as a generic term, but it's a very, very complex part. When we are in love, sometimes we are in that place and we feel that nothing else exists. But then when we start spending time with each other, and especially the families coming in, or the person has an ideology or a religion, and people say, wow, I didn't know this. And that is creating noise. So it's important to be able to share a certain level of values and principles to be able to strengthen and to have like a pillar, another pillar for this relationship. The other point is that for a relationship to grow, this relationship needs something to grow. I used to use the term child, needs a child. But I'm not talking about physical children. I'm talking about like a garden to water. We need to have a common focus that the energy we have allows us to focus together and to nurture that together. That usually, of course, is aligned with the values we have. But sometimes we can have this as an ethereal idea, but we need something concrete. And I used to call children, but some families, they have children, but they don't have a vision together for the children. So I prefer now to call it a garden to water. What is our garden? What is the plants that we like to put? What is our attention and working together that we think in the morning? How are we going to water this? What is important for this? And in that case, as I mentioned before, usually it's connected to the values that some people call a call, an internal vocation. I have the vocation to do that. This garden or these children is something that is beyond ourselves. It's something that exists there. And for some people is a cause in society. For some people is something to contribute in their profession. Some people in politics, in humanity. There are different elements that call us to act and how we respond to that. So if we have the similar garden to water, it will help us to be more together. Why is this important? Because life changes. And sometimes in the relationship, the love we have and the passion that we have may suffer certain ups and downs for whatever reason. Sometimes the person will be too busy, sometimes illnesses, sometimes hormones, sometimes different interests that weakens a little bit the relationship between the two people. But if this weakness, there is a strong set of values that we are continue thinking together, and also we have this garden that we are watering, we have other points of communication. We have other things in our life that we can talk about and we can nurture. And in that case, what happened in the middle is important, but not so important to the point to break the relationship, because there are other points that are supporting it. And of course, this allows the two people to look at the relationship to strengthen that. Sometimes too, the two people start thinking differently about the values. This is very common in religion, that when two people are ideologically together in one religion, that they met under the same structure, religious structure, and one person starts moving out thinking differently, that could create big chasms, not only with the person, but also with the family and the social network. But if the relationship is strong in the middle and still having something together to nurture, this can be worked out in different ways. Sometimes not easy, but we have the strength to do it. And in the same way, one person will say, well, I was focusing on that mission, in that work, in that NGO that I work in. I'm not interested anymore. I want to work there. So we're going to have the same area to water. But the values are similar, are the same, and the love is there. So the problem is when we are not aware of these elements and we don't have them, or we had them in the beginning and they being eroded for many reasons, and we didn't have the ability to have a look at that. The term we use is to have an insight, to know that this is becoming weakened in a way that needs attention. So with this conversation, I imagine that anyone who is listening to this, he will start putting together what is what. But then it's important to pause and to draw, to say, this is me, this is the other person. What happened in between us? Then we're going to expand this a little bit more in the extra topics. But to pause and say, how is our relationship? What is that bonds us together? How is our affection? and there is a romantic relationship, what is sensuality, sexuality, how we treat each other in that area. To write it down, what is the child that we are nurturing, the garden that we are nurturing? Do we have something like that? And if we had it, have we lost it? If we have it, are we feeding this well? And if we don't have it, it is likely that there is something there that we may focus together as a common interest. And of course, what are the values? What are the values that we have? What are the things that we think in the same way? Things that we think differently. And in that list will help us to see what are we doing with this? And the more important thing is this relationship building the best of me or not the best of me? In this relationship, do I feel that I'm feeding the best of my partner or not the best of my partner? So this is connected to a play of life technique that is called This Is Me. That is where we have a look at the best of me and not the best of me. A key element in life to find out who is the person that I feel I am. I like to become more and more, but also with whom I'm living. Am I contributing to that person too? So this is for another conversation, but I'd like to focus again. The important things in relationship is what happened between us. That is the telly. What are our values, our systems, how we are thinking about life, and what are the elements in the bottom that we are nurturing, we are watering for us to grow. And if this is balance and we are focused on that, it is highly likely that we are going to nurture our relationship, to make it grow. And if it's not working very well, we will know what to do in the right time. And we have the ability to deal with that appropriately. So, in the next video, we are going to expand on these topics.